There's a narrative in many cultures about depression being a bad thing. And I was just watching a music video and it had subtitles, and it was basically made reference to that. And I was like, I felt this impulse to get on here and share another perspective on it, because depression for me has been life-changing. I don't know who I would be without it, without the darker parts of my journey. The darkest parts for me were last fall and winter. And sure, at the time I was like, ugh, I didn't want it at all. I wasn't sure I wanted to be here. But as that heaviness slowly fades, I feel myself lifting into the other side of that. As I started to come out of that, was the most creativity I'd ever felt before in my life, and the greatest surrender to the flow of whoever I am in each moment embodying me. And a prioritization of my self-expression, just being who I am. It seemed that depressed state put me in touch with how much I don't allow myself to freely be me, how much I doubt myself and hold back. And I seem to come out of it with a sense of, no, I'm not going to do that anymore. This ferocity to be myself, because it felt like the depression was related to the ways I hold back, the ways I live in fear, the ways I let insecurity make my decisions for me. And I still do that at times, and I still feel what could be called depressive sort of states. Most days there's heavier parts, but there's a freedom that I don't think I'd be experiencing now if it hadn't been for depression. There's a humility that I don't think I would have gotten in touch with. There's awareness that is expanded in ways that I don't imagine would have unfolded if I had somehow managed to keep myself from falling into that darker state. And I was pretty surrendered while I was in it, in terms of being with the feelings that came up in that space. And even though parts of me were really wanting to get out of it, and I would do things to pull myself out of that place and maybe distract myself. I don't even know if any of that's true. I could have just been following my flow. For the most part, it felt like I really was very loving toward myself by engaging with whatever wanted to be revealed. And so much was revealed. And I think what helped me to fall into depression was really falling in love, because the depressive state came on the heels of a relationship ending that I really let my heart go. I really dove in, as much as I could at the time, as much as I knew how. And that set me up for the disillusionment and devastating heartbreak that cracked me open. Like Rumi says, the cracks are where the light gets in. And there was all this anger, rage, and there was all this grief that came around the same time, or maybe the anger cracked that open for the grief to be exposed. So, yeah, there's this idea that that's a space that we need to get out of. And that didn't feel true for me. I felt like it was something that needed to run its course, and that there was a perfection to it that I couldn't see in moments, but there was some sense of it. And it seems that, at least in the culture I'm familiar with, there's this idea that we want to medicate it, that we want to just get out there and do things and keep going. And I just imagine that perpetuating it, rather than it being something that maybe comes and goes, sort of in its own timing. It's something that's can be sort of slowly extended through a lifetime, through trying to put it off until later, or trying to just get out of it altogether and think that we can conquer it. But we're only conquering our own expansive awareness. We're only conquering our own freedom, our own opportunity for freedom, through not letting ourselves fall into that. So I came out of that space with gratitude. And it's not like I want to go back there. I'm hoping I don't have another dark night of the soul type experience. That'll be nice. But if it does happen, there's something in me that's like, okay, there's a trust, there's an imagining that it serves me in ways that I might not recognize in those moments. And it's more based on experience now. I used to have to force trust a little more, and now it's like I've actually been through the fire, or my own version of it at least, and I can feel the benefits of allowing it to burn away all that doesn't seem to be present for me now. My experience of myself and of life is changing. There's more playfulness, more consistent playfulness, more consistent. My heart is open in ways that it just wasn't before, and I'm able to relate with people in these deeply intimate ways that I didn't know I could, or I didn't have context for in the past. And there seems to be a magnetizing as I continue to share from this place and to freely express, a magnetizing of other people that are available for the sort of freedom and heart connection that I'm experiencing. So then it becomes this shared dance that's just so beautiful. So yeah, I guess that's what wanted to be shared. And that's kind of the feeling of life, like, cool, I guess that's what wanted to happen, because that's what just happened. And depression's no exception.